minds can play some nasty tricks on us. And I'm going to share one flawed thought pattern with you in this video and how you can work to overcome it. Hi, I'm Jordan Travers. I'm a licensed clinical psychotherapist and the clinical director at Awake Therapy. If you're interested in working with an online therapist, but you don't really know where to go or how to get started, you can make an appointment with me or a member of the Awake Therapy team by clicking on the link in the description. Okay, so jumping right into it. We sometimes get stuck thinking that everything was so much better and easier in the past. It's one of the tricks our minds plays on us, especially when we're feeling vulnerable or overwhelmed. However, rarely is it actually the case that things were objectively better in the past. Psychologists refer to this flawed thought pattern as rosy retrospection. It is a well-studied cognitive bias. It happens because when we think about the past, we are more likely to think about events, people, places, and things in the abstract. And when we think about things in the abstract, we are more likely to focus on positive generalities than the nitty-gritty and sometimes gory details. Here's an example. If you think back to a holiday celebration you had with your family, say 10 years ago, you're likely to reminisce about the good food you ate, the enjoyable conversations you had, and the great family photos you were able to take. You're probably not going to remember how uncomfortable the pull-out couch was that you slept on for 5 nights straight, how you had a cold for the whole trip, how your travel plans were complicated by bad weather, and not to mention how stressful it was being with your extended family for a whole week. In other words, the negative details about past events tend to drift out of our memory over time, while the positive aspects of our past experiences remain. It's good that this happens, as it keeps us in a positive frame of mind in the present, and if our minds didn't work like this, we would be much less likely to go on the same holiday next year or engage in other activities that are important to our own well-being. In fact, people who tend to reminisce more about negative experiences than positive ones are likely to exhibit mood disorders, such as depression, or to have other underlying psychological issues. So in other words, rosy retrospection is a cognitive bias, but like many cognitive biases, it is one that serves an important purpose. It can, however, lead to lapses in good decision-making. For instance, it's one of the reasons why we backslide into problematic relationships. The longer it's been since we've experienced the negative effects of an abusive or unsupportive relationship, the more likely we are to let the good memories outweigh the bad, and to perhaps forgive unforgivable behavior. It's always a good idea to approach our nostalgic feelings with a healthy amount of skepticism. The truth is that psychological research suggests our best days tend to be ahead of us, not behind. One study, for instance, tracked the trajectory of people's optimism over time. The researchers found that optimism was lowest in people's 20s, then rose gradually through people's 30s and 40s, peaking in people's 50s, and gradually declining after that. Another study found that life satisfaction in Anglo countries, such as the United States, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom, tends to improve with age. In other words, there's good evidence to suggest that your happiest days are still to come. And even if they're not, it's still important to assume that they are. Don't shy away from looking upon the past with a certain degree of fondness, but by the same token, don't use the past as an excuse to be unhappy in the present. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the content helpful and informative. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to receive updates when a new video is posted. And remember, the content addressed in these videos is educational in nature and is not meant to be a substitute for individualized psychotherapy. If you're in need of mental assistance, whether to address an existing issue or to create a more prosperous, fulfilling life, you can go to the link in the description and schedule an initial consultation. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.